and welcome to Scott's Amateur Woodshop. Uh, Today I'm here to talk about something that I think we often forget, which is that once you're a woodworker, you get some powers. And it's not just that you can build things, you can also modify stuff. And I don't think we should overlook that. You can modify stuff that you might already own. And I encourage you to do so when it makes sense, freely. So I'll give you just a couple of examples and I'll go into a little deeper demonstration on one of them. The first thing that you might notice is you might have a drawer, and not the kind with runners, but if you have a drawer that's just a box fitting into a hole, essentially, you might find that the wood on the side, especially in the summer months, has expanded, gotten a little wider, which in this case means taller, and it might stick a little bit. So you could take out your hand plane that I advise you to buy, and you could go to, say, the bottom of the drawer where taking the finish off won't show, and you could take a couple of strokes of the plane. And then if you wanted to run real nice, you could take a bar of soap or a candle or a block of paraffin wax that's not in the form of a candle if you like, and rub it on the bottom and it'll run real nice. So that's one thing you might choose to do. Now, one thing that came to my mind that I actually want to modify is I have this broom, and the handle is kind of chunky and kind of heavy, and it works fine. But, you know, I like to have really nice stuff, and I like the fact that this is a straw broom. I'm not going to make my own straw broom because I don't specialize in things involving bundles of straw. You know, I might try it, but I don't really need to go down that rabbit hole. And I just felt like the handle was a little chunky, and wouldn't it be nice if it was just a little thinner and maybe even octagonal to fit my knuckles better? The segments of my hand kind of match the segments of an octagon. Sometimes that's nice on a hammer handle. So I'm going to take my plane and try taking a couple of strokes. I think I even want a gentle curve, so I'm going to start, 8 inches or so from the end, and then go to 8 inches or so from the end, and then I'm going to do one that's 4 inches from the end to 4 inches from the end, and then I'm going to do one that's near the top, only an inch or two away, and goes as far down to the bottom as I can get it. And I'm going to do another 2 strokes like that. I like to do the shorter strokes first because then the longer strokes, in theory, they're kind of gonna smooth out those steps that the plane blade might leave. And that's a not really an important detail, but it's one of those things that you pick up the more you use hand planes. So I've got a nice little facet going. You can kind of see that there's a stripe there, and it's thin near the end, and then it gets a little wider here. And it's pretty subtle. And, you know, I'm going to do this all the way around, so I don't want to go too crazy. So I'm going to flip it over and do the same thing. And I want you to notice that as I do this, the first one I was talking, you know, this is going to go quicker and quicker. And as you get experience, this is going to get quicker and quicker. This also brings up a point about hand planes. You know, we think of them as something that makes a flat surface, but this isn't very good at making a flat surface, this little plane. It's got such a short sole. You know, it could really only flatten something. Let's see, the rule of thumb is twice the length of its sole, so this is maybe 3 inches long. You could flatten something 6 inches long. So something this size, it's good at making a gentle concave curve, for example. And the real strength isn't that it's making a flat surface, although the fact that it's sort of flat is good. The real strength is that it's taking off a small and controlled amount of wood. I'm taking off 5 total shavings off each facet, and I'm going to work my way around and do it evenly. And as a result, I'm going to have something that's reasonably even when I'm done. So that's kind of nice. Let me see if I can power through this very quickly for the sake of demonstration. I've already got 3 facets. That wasn't too much time. I think you could afford this kind of time, if it's something you enjoy. 4 inches, and all the way, and all the way 2 more times to make 5 strokes, or almost all the way. Another thing you might want to do to modify something like a broom handle or a wooden spoon is you might want to drill a hole near the end, make a hang hole. I haven't even recommended a drill to buy on this channel, although I probably will soon. So I've already got 4 facets. I think I'm going to get to the 5th one, and then for the sake of the video, move on to the next thing. Because then you can see 3 facets next to each other. Okay, so this is already feeling a little bit better. Now I'm going to feel it, and I'm going to choose to whether to go further or not based on how it feels in my hand. And that's something that they can't do in any factory. You know why? Because my hand isn't there, just someone else's hand. This broom is going to be just the way I like it. And you'll notice that these facets up near the end where I didn't plane as much off kind of thin out, and they still have a little wood between them. And down here they're all touching. And as you can see, I didn't do all the way around because I wanted to get through this fast through the sake of the video. But here you've got 1, 2, 3. So this would be 8 facets when I'm done. So that feels nice, and it's nice, and yeah, I could go a little bit further my own time. Now another thing you could do is take this card scraper here, if you've seen my other video on card scrapers, and you could work your way around the handle, and that would take off the finish and take off those sharp corners. And that feels even a little nicer now. And then if you wanted to, you could wipe on some finish. And over time this will get grimy if you put like an oil finish on it, since you're handling it with your hands, like oil or wax. So you could use, you know, like the butcher block conditioner like I've shown on my channel a few times. That is convenient. But another thing I would recommend that's convenient and a very good protective finish is a wiping varnish. My current favorite is this one, Minwax Wipe On Poly. It's the same as one of their other ones, but with a little more thinner on it. And I'll probably demonstrate that in another video, but just so you know, that's what I'm going to use on this broomstick when I'm done. And I like it because basically what you do is, I'll just pretend here, you pour it on a rag, you wipe it on and you wipe off the excess, and you let it dry for a few minutes, and it'll take up to a month to like fully cure, to the point where when you lean in and take a deep breath, you don't smell anything. But sometimes it can take as little as a half an hour to get to the point where you can touch it, which is another nice quality. It's very easy to get a good finish. That's why I like it. So anyway, that's not really the point of my video. The point of my video is that you shouldn't be afraid to modify stuff. Now, I'm not saying modify antiques. I'm not saying to deface a piece of art that a friend gave you. But what I am saying is, if you have some of these generic commercial things that are just a little chunky or a little clumsy, you know, or they don't fit just perfectly, you refine them because you can. And you don't have to make every single thing in your house. You're going to probably buy a broom, for example, and you can still have it be just the way you like it. Boy, this actually feels really comfortable in my hand already. So that kind of makes my point, I think. I wish you could feel it. Anyway, someone told me at the end of these videos, since I don't have a title screen, I need to give them time to push the buttons. So remember to use the buttons below. And now you have a few seconds to do that while I say, thank you for coming to Scott's Amateur Woodshop. I appreciate you. And I hope your day is as wonderful as mine was. Bye now.